Happy Monday, everybody. How are you? I'm running a little behind, so I hope that you'll come and join me. I apologize for being a little bit behind, but with us in the US, we just did our daylight savings time. Is that what it's called? I know I don't remember if or we're standard time now. I have no idea. I will say this. I don't talk politics much, but I think we can all agree that it should be a bipartisan effort to get rid of this time change business because I feel like I'm an hour behind instead of yay an hour ahead, and I have an opportunity for stuff, and I'm sure I'll feel way better that the sun is going down at like 7 now. But this morning, as I've seen on Facebook and other places, not everyone, this does not bring people joy. So if that's you, today's message is for you. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to be here on this Monday because, like I said, it's a little bit nutty with the time changing and everything. So welcome. If you are watching me live on YouTube, which if you didn't know, I have a YouTube channel. It's the Soul Coach Studio YouTube channel. You can find the link on my website, and I would love it if you would go subscribe and like it and like do the thummy uppy thing and the bell. Every platform has different things. So if you could do that, that would be awesome. And if you're on Facebook, go ahead and give me some sort of emoticon so the algorithm knows that you love me. You really, really love me, and I love you. Okay, so if you're new to me and you're just catching this now, happy Monday. I'm Soul Coach Michelle, your friendly neighborhood super woo and manifesting coach. And welcome to my channel where we talk about all things manifesting from a spiritual, practical, and no more glitter covered bullshit perspective. And that's probably why you're here. So a couple of announcements before we get started. One, if you are new again and have not yet, or if you've been around a while and you have not registered for my free mini Manifest Your Dreams course, you can go ahead and do that. It's the link in the below. And then also, I have not put it in the links below, but you can find it on my website under self-paced course. I've added a few new courses. What I'm doing is adding master classes and courses to the self-paced platform. So I'm excited to share that after everybody like hollering at me for the last several years to be like, why don't you do self-paced courses? I'm starting to add them. So you'll see there used to be just the one, and now I think there's like two master classes and I think two courses. I think I have to go look. It's early again, daylight savings. Blech. So anyway, so go after we do the video today, go over and check that out if anything interests you. If you are interested in like a law of attraction 101, whether you're new to it or you want a new perspective, that might be for you. There's some other stuff there. So make sure you go and check that out because I did spend some time to make it pretty. So anyway, that's really the announcements for this week. Let's see. So I don't know if you can tell, but I'm feeling kind of jumbled. Excuse me. And I feel like this whole week's energy is feeling jumbled, almost like I think we're under a fire moon until tomorrow, which as an earth sign, anything fiery makes me feel all like bleh. So I do, it's like all my ideas are competing. So if this is you, or you're feeling like you just can't think straight, it's okay. You're not alone. But I did want to speak to this because that's an energy that's coming up. I think for a lot of people that there's just this energy of I could do a bazillion things, but which one of these things do I want to do? And not being able to really ground into anything. So I think what happens is when we feel this jumbledness, it can trigger feelings of anxiety. It can trigger feelings of unworthiness or not enoughness because in our minds, if we were doing enough, we might not be so jumbled. We would be more organized. There's a whole like once we kind of get into this jumbled feeling, a lot of times what can happen is the shoulds just go off the chart. And so instead of doing that, which is kind of our go-to, because when you're jumbled, that's just another kind of vernacular word for being ungrounded or disconnected from self, from source. So I thought today maybe I can share with you some things that I do because when we're jumbled, our manifesting gets really wackadoodle, y'all. So what I want to encourage you to do, because it doesn't feel good to be jumbled, it doesn't feel good to, even though all of our feelings are transient. Sometimes, especially when it's anxiety, what we try to do is we try to force it away, which creates more feelings of anxiety and all these other kind of like trickle down feelings like the not enoughness, the unworthiness, the lost, the ungroundedness. And then we try to do more instead of being. And the whole point is when we are having feelings of anxiety, when we are having feelings of all of the stuff that comes out of that, it's almost counterintuitive to say to yourself, it's time to just be, because usually our go to is, what can I do to fix this? Because instead of looking at it as a feeling that I can observe and release, it's an embracing of an emotional state that you're saying, this is who I am. So what do I do about it? Versus looking at it and saying, okay, I'm going to step back, ground myself, and then see, does this still feel as strong? I know that sounds kind of more psychology than woo, but the fact is that what you're doing is reconnecting with spirit. So you're taking a practical approach to reconnect with your spirituality. So this doesn't involve, doing affirmations at all. Grounding is all about grounding into reconnection of self. So that might mean, you go outside barefoot and connect to the earth. Get some earth energy time. You can't do that because it's raining or it's too cold. I have a grounding mat that I love. I got it on the Amazon. You can get it there. You can go to your favorite metaphysical store or probably speak to your favorite complementary medicine provider, and they can probably support you and help you figure out where to get one if you don't have Amazon or you don't like working with Amazon. Other tips I would say is just stop. First of all, you want to stop. If you're feeling this way, stop. Take a breath and then go to your grounding mat. Go put your feet on the earth. Maybe listen to some music that you love. It might be a band that you love. I have a friend, her favorite band is Tool. Not my go to, but that works for her. I like to find things on Insight Timer, like stuff that is certain megahertz so that it responds to your energy centers. You might love REO Speedwagon. I don't know, but go find a song that you like and listen to that. Maybe cuddle with your fur baby so you get some tactile grounding, which is like maybe feel something that you love the feel of it, a cashmere sweater, maybe some linen, maybe just hugging on your fur baby. Maybe practice Zen eating. There's like an exercise with chocolate. I mean, how bad can that be? And you ground into it where you do a chocolate meditation. Isn't that delightful? And then also maybe read or watch, because we have a lot of stuff coming out now. Watch maybe the next episode of your favorite show, or read a short story or some poetry or a chapter in a book that you are interested in. Maybe take a nap to reset. I mean, I love that. I always am like, when you were a little child and you were acting out and you were having a moment, and usually somebody put you down for a nap because they were like, you need a nap. So taking a nap to reset, even if it's just for 15 minutes, or maybe meditating for 10 minutes if you're in the workplace, just go back up to the car and sit there and listen to some music on your phone, and just sit there and be quiet for a moment to reset yourself. And then maybe lastly, one of the things I also like to do is you either take a bath, or if you don't have a nice bathtub, you can always soak your feet. There's tons of fun either recipes for um, clearing and grounding soaks, so you can use that in the bathtub or in a tub for your with maybe a foot bath. So, and the reason I want to say this is because when we're so jumbled, Maria Nemeth, who is one of my favorites, she's like the goddess of coaching, um, and she always says we can't create from a place of anxiety. So if our goal in manifesting is to create a life we love, whether it is attracting financial freedom, it might be attracting a new career or career change, it might be attracting a love that we are wanting to see within our life, or maybe a move, anything, we think in terms of attracting material things, or maybe it might just be, we want to create more comfort within ourselves, more feelings of at home within self. Manifesting can be any of these things. But the fact is that we can't create any of this stuff for ourselves when we feel jumbled or have feelings of anxiety, which like kind of trigger these watershed moments of all the other icky IBSC feelings. If we don't step into awareness and say, okay, I need to stop and shift my energy, and then maybe do one of the things I suggested, which if you're on the email list, I'm going to send you this list. Um, and if you're not on the email list, the link is below. So you can just get on there and have all these wonderful things. But anyway, if we don't shift our energy, a lot of times we can stay in these crappy places that are supposed to be transient and processed through for a long period of time. And you don't want to do that. It doesn't ever feel good, right? Because then we start manifesting things we don't want, because you're always manifesting. I just want to, I hate to break it to you, 24/7, if you're awake and breathing, you're manifesting. So if you're in a crappy place, no, we're not going to manifest the stuff we want. We're going to manifest, stubbing our toe or spilling our coffee, or, being late to an appointment or something like that. So if you're feeling jumbled this week, I want you to go to the list that I just shared, which you will get in the email, and maybe pick something and practice it, or pick a couple of different things and practice it daily. Because even when you don't feel jumbly, if you have a practice in place to go to, that's going to help you when you are jumbly. Because when we're jumbly, it's hard to kind of find our way out if we don't have a plan in place. That's why they always say, you have to have fire drills so you know how to get out in an emergency. So when you have a Mayday on your manifesting, which is when you feel jumbly and you start manifesting stuff you don't like and you don't want to go down that spiral, put a plan in place of what is your favorite go-to release the feelings of being jumbled, or feelings of anxiety, or feelings of unworthiness, or just kind of icky, bleh feelings. What can you do that will immediately raise your vibe? Okay. So I hope that was helpful. Let me do some cards. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask this universe, what do we need to know for this week to support us in practicing this, reset stuff. So let's do this. Okay. Well, and as you can tell, I'm feeling kind of jumbly myself, so you're not alone in this. And later, I will probably be doing several other things on my list, one of which I probably will be going to get a pedi because my toes need it, and taking some time to organize. That's another thing that can go on the list is, I don't know about you, maybe it's just the Virgo in me, but one of the things that really supports me when I feel jumbly or I'm feeling anxious to kind of put a stop to it and switch gears is to look at my living space, whether it be my home, my office, and see where I can tidy up a bit. See where I'm feeling like, if I'm looking around and I'm disorganized, or the house is dirty or disorganized, or I haven't done certain things that help set me on a path that leads to calm and peace versus overwhelm. Because sometimes meal prepping helps me, meal planning and prepping helps me. Maybe that helps you. But if you've looked around and you've kind of let your rituals that support you in that space go by the wayside, reconnect with them. Maybe tidy your office, maybe tidy your house. Give yourself that freedom. I know it sounds counterintuitive because we are so driven in this life to be productive, or rather busy. And busy and productivity are two very different things. Busy usually happens when you are feeling anxious, when you are feeling unworthy, when you're feeling not enough, because if I'm busy, I'm doing something. When the fact is that you are supposed to be doing nothing except reconnecting with self. So, with that said, what do we need to know this week to help everybody watching reconnect with themselves? You cannot make this shit up. I'm just telling you. When I pull these, you cannot make this shit up. I think it's so. Oh, I love lots of water animals. Let's see. Who do we have here? Every single one is a water animal. Is that not hilarious? Which means lots and lots of feels. So what that means is, a lot of times when we get into this kind of jumbly state, it's all because our thinking is off. And when our thinking is off, It's time to jump in the feels. And the thing is, most people don't want to jump in the feels. But the cards are telling us jump in the feels. So, number one overarching message for this week when we're trying to navigate the feelings of jumbliness, or if you prefer calling it the feelings of anxiety, and thusly the trickle down from that, the way you got to get is you got to get out of thinking. Get out of the thinking and jump into the heart center. That's what everything, because we have a turtle, we have a starfish, and we have a whale. If that ain't a message of water, I don't know what is. So, love and emotion is all right there. And that's all right here, my darlings. So, go get you your heart chakra meditations. Go get you some unconditional love music off of the Insight Timer and play that in your office as you're working away this week. So, let's talk about this. What is going to help us get into this whole idea of tempering or releasing the anxiety or the jumbled feelings, okay? And that is turtle spirit is the answer. Right here, slow and steady wins the race, right? So usually the jumbly or the anxiety, it has this feel to it. Keep going, keep going, good. If I can just get it done, if I can just get it done, right? But the actual way to stem that feeling and process it is to slow down. Slow down and start having curious, compassionate conversations, the three C's, with yourself and say, okay, where can I slow down and love myself and allow myself to be and step into that list of things that I shared earlier that can help you reconnect to self so that you can release these jumbly feelings. Okay. So, what we need to do is slow down. So, again, the advice of stop, feel, and choose is kind of your modality for this. So, and the cards and spirit are kind of supporting that message. So, starfish spirit is the helper. So, how do we slow down and slow and steady wins the race? Open up to infinite possibilities. Stop trying to think your way out of a heart problem and allow spirit to guide you. Okay. Again, we're blending practical and spiritual. So, yeah, you got to do these kind of psychological tips and tricks that support the meat suit. So, when we're feeling jumbly or anxious, that's meat suit. That's this. But if we can lean into spirit instead of saying, what can I do? Instead saying, okay, it's time for me to co-create. So how do we do that? We can't compartmentalize just because I'm at work Monday from 8 to 5. Okay, what we got to do is say, while I'm at work, if I'm feeling jumbly, maybe I need to go sit in the bathroom because that's where nobody really bothers you. Or maybe I got to go sit in my car and do one of the things. Maybe I eat a piece of chocolate. Maybe I close my eyes and listen to Insight Timer for 5 minutes. Maybe I go and take my shoes off and walk outside in the grass that's near my office, or I put a grounding mat under my desk. Whatever it is, the thing is, Starfish is here to remind you the supporting factor to slow down is that you're going to have to open up to the infinite possibility, opening up to source, supporting you no matter where you are. Okay. You know, that's the whole thing is understanding that you're just because you get in your car and you leave your house and you go to work and you don't put your mala beads on doesn't mean that source isn't there. Okay. So open up to the infinite possibility that you are able to do and practice the stuff that you know works for you no matter where you are. And then lastly, and this is funny because it's almost the same message and it's upside down, which means I forgot that I knew that, or I knew it and I don't wanna. Again, I think it's I forgot that it's a hybrid. The feeling is it's a hybrid between I forgot and I don't wanna. It's because it can be a challenge to create a practice around this. People don't like creating practices and ritual. People like hacks. But I hate to tell you this, and I do this out of love because I think everybody is spouting a bunch of bullshit, and I don't want you to fall into that. And also, I want to tell you the truth. I'm sorry, but writing affirmations, I can tell you all day long to write certain affirmations. And this is why I have a course that says how to write your own power affirmation because you got to understand why they work and how they work and create your own. Otherwise, if you're just rewriting somebody else's affirmations that kind of sort of fill the purpose, hoping that you somehow embody that emotion, it doesn't work because it's still up here when it needs to be here. The only way to get stuff here is to do a practice, even when you don't feel like you need it. When things are going great, that's when you still need to practice. Okay, just saying. So, what that means is trust in the great mystery. Again, back to the source, reconnecting with source and creating that practice that gets you reconnected on the daily. Now, these are things that can shift you in the moment, but if you can create yourself a practice that is daily, good, bad, ugly days, the amount of triggers and moments of feeling jumbly go will get lower, will get less. I'm not saying they'll go away. Nothing ever goes away 100%. But number one, they will be less. Number two, you will navigate them better. And number three, you'll recover more quickly from them if you have a practice that you lean on daily. Because when you do that, you'll get into awareness more quickly of what's going on, and then you can choose, check in and choose. I'm doing all kinds of like lists of how to do things today. So check in and choose. So the only way to check in, translation, become in awareness of what's going on with you, is to have a daily practice where you know how to do that and you can realize what your thoughts are and observe them versus just allowing them to run amok. So, if we can sit down and create a practice, and then in those moments where you're not sitting in your meditation chair or in your journal in your bedroom, you're at your desk or you are at a family gathering, which may or may not be super pleasant because, when we get together with family, it always looks great on television, but the family barbecue isn't always just, like TV in Hollywood. Sometimes it's kind of dysfunctional, and that's okay. But if you can go in with the mindset of observer mode versus the mindset of participant, it makes life easier and less jumbly, less triggering. Okay. So, what I'm going to say to you is this. Number one, let's create a practice. If you haven't done that, one of the things I teach in the little manifesting mini course that's free below is how to create a practice around your meditation. And meditation doesn't mean you put on a bed sheet and sit under a tree for 3 hours. Meditation means I am in awareness on a regular basis intentionally so that when I'm living my life, I can recognize when I need to be in awareness about my feelings so that I can check in and choose. Okay. So you can go and do that. You can take what I'm sharing with you here. Also, if you want the list that I shared earlier, go ahead and sign up for the mailing list. It'll be in this week's newsletter that goes out tomorrow, as will a replay of this. So this week, be mindful of how jumbly or anxious you feel so that you can be in control of the emotion instead of trying to change externally what's going on that you perceive as causing the feelings of anxiety. Instead, look inward and say, my anxiety, anxious feelings are probably caused because I'm disconnected from me. So if I can sit down and be in my feels and reconnect to self, reconnect to source, and step into observer mode where I can look and see, what am I feeling? How do I want to choose to go from this space? That's when you can shift your energy and feel less jumbly or feel less anxious and release that and move into a more centered space. Okay. So, again, if you want that list of stuff that I mentioned that are activities to do to raise your vibe like this when you are feeling jumbly, just make sure you sign up for that newsletter. It'll go out tomorrow. Um, if you want to sign up for the free manifesting mini course, that link is below also. If you're watching YouTube, I think it's above if you're on Facebook. Um, and again, our 3 cards are how are we going to navigate this week of feeling jumbly. It's all water and emotion, friends. So we're going to slow and steady wins the race. Instead of being busy, slow down, chew your food, kind of a thing. We have starfish reminding us to open to the infinite possibility. So make sure you open up to creating a practice and stop saying, well, I just don't wanna, or I don't do well with practices. Find an accountability buddy, hire a coach right here. Um, or, just do something, set a reminder on your phone. And then the last one, which is upside down, is whale spirit in trust in the great mystery. You can do this. You have got this. It's okay. Take a breath. Pick your activity of choice, slow down, and be. Okay. I hope that's helpful this week. I love y'all so much. I will see you next week. And until next time, I will see you in the vortex. Mwah! Bye.